is Pearl Bailey, and you know what? I've got a secret.
From New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Steve Allen.
Thanks very much. Good evening and welcome indeed to another edition of I've Got a Secret. And now that you've met our special guest for the evening, Pearl Bailey, we'll meet, of course, the members of our panel, who are, as usual, Betsy Palmer and Bill Cullen, Bess Meyerson, Henry Morgan, and that's the band. You all set to play the game, panel?
Yes.
I don't know why I go on asking you that year after year, but I'd like to be nice. May we have our first contestant then, please? Jump right in there, partner, and would you tell us your name, please, and where you're from?
My name is Milton Barrett. I come from New York.
Milton Barrett. Panel, New York City. Milton, how old are you?
11.
Now, if you'll whisper to me, we'll show the audience just what your secret is. The clue to Milton Barrett's secret, panel, concerns something he does, and we'll start the game with Bill Cullen.
Milton, this thing you do, does it entertain people?
Yes.
Do you do it in public before a group of people?
Yes.
Is it musical in any sense of the word? No.
Yes.
Well, there is a peripheral tangential connection. I've been talking to John Daly, folks. I want you to know.
Would you put that back in my terms? I want another show. Do you sing at all, Milton?
No.
Do you dance at all?
Yes.
Let me clarify that musical thing, Bill. There is a little music sometimes going on, but it's not really vitally important to the secret.
Oh, I see. But you do this in front of people and entertain them, Milton. Is that correct?
Yes.
$20 down, 60 to go. Bess?
Milton, are you now in a show?
Right now?
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
This minute?
Now, wait a moment. Wait
That's
a
his way of
moment.
saying you call this a show?
No, Milton, I don't mean right this moment, but I mean in the evenings, for example. Do you perform?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not strictly a show, but it's kind of a performance.
Well, I just wanted to know if perhaps you were starring on Broadway in some kind of play.
No.
No. Do you do this at school?
No.
You do this after hours?
Yes.
And do you get paid when you do this?
Yes and no.
Do you do this with other young people?
Yes.
Did you...
$40 down. Henry Morgan?
Milton, are you going to do it with other people tonight?
Yes.
Should I spend more time on the other people or just find out what it is?
Just find out what it is.
And don't take too darn long about it either. How do you like that?
Would I care how many others there are, Milton?
There's 5 more.
I don't really care. What you do, is it in any way like acrobatics?
Yes.
There's an acrobatic aspect, but that might mislead you. We'd better say no, I think.
How come everything here is tangential and referential? Milton, are they all boys?
Yes.
Are they all about your age?
No.
Depends on what you mean by about, Henry. I'd say, loosely speaking, they're all around his age, yes. Okay, $60 down, Betsy.
Milton, does this have to do with sports at all?
Yes.
You're a little sneak. I saw you sneak in your sneakers. That's why I asked that. Does it have to do with basketball?
Yes.
Does it have to do with maybe the Globetrotters? Not really. Are you a small version, a kind of a mini version of the Globetrotters? Yeah.
Milton Barrett is indeed quite a remarkable young man. For 3 years now, in other words, since he was 8 years old, he has spent most of his after-school hours traveling with a group of young men giving exhibitions of their skills as professional basketball players. Milton, would you tell us the name of this team you play with?
The name of the team is the Edgy's Whiz Kids.
And what does Edgies mean?
It's a building called the Education Allowance, but we call it the Edgies for short.
That's right. Now, where do you put on your exhibitions?
All over the country.
Well, if you want to help yourself to our little basketball court over here, Milton, we'll see you in just a moment. I'll explain while he's getting ready to play that the kids, as he says, not only put on these exhibitions, but they also play in a regular league. Now, out of the last 125 games, they have only succeeded in winning all of them. But they're going to try to improve on that a little bit. They're going to beat them even worse than they have been up to now. They play in an organization, as he mentioned, called the Education Alliance. That's what Edgies means. And all of the money that these young ball handlers make goes right back to supporting after-school activities at their community center here in town. So we'll open the curtains now and meet all of the Edgies Whiz Kids. Here they are. Where'd it go? Look out. Where's that ball? Watch it. This is young Gregory Wright. This is Harvey Davies. This young man is Ivory Daniels. Next, a little fancy ball handling by Otto Gomez. Now another very clever ball handler. This is Alfred Cabrera. How about that? Watch it. Hey there. And now young Milton Barrett again with a little fancy dribbling exhibition. There he goes. Ball spins. There they go. In the audience, we have the coach of this team, Mr. Sal Lane, who's done a great job. Coach, take him out. Mr. Lane is also appearing in Ed Sullivan's audience one of these days. Now, we'll be back in a minute with our next contestant. First, get a load of this.
So you're giving your first Paris dinner party?
For the Bradfords. They're so important to Jim's career. But Mrs. Bradford acts like I had bad breath.
Oh, so much worry. Use Listerine antiseptic. Kills germs that can cause bad breath.
I'll try it.
Louise, no more worries?
Nope. I had to come to Paris to discover Listerine.
Listerine keeps your mouth clean, your breath fresh, hour after hour.
Are you sure you feel well enough to sing today?
It's just a little sore throat from this cold, and today's my first choir solo.
Well, you'd better take these along.
Jane Candy won't help me.
No, Listerine throat lozenges. They relieve pain because they're medicated.
Tastes good.
You sang beautifully.
Thanks.
Say, how's the sore throat?
Feels a lot better thanks to Listerine throat lozenges.
For temporary relief of minor sore throat pain.
Now, may we have our next contestant, please? There you are. Nice to have you with us, sir. You and your jug of Kool-Aid or whatever this is. Would you tell us your name, please, and where you're from?
Yes, I'm David James. I'm from Pasadena, California.
Mr. James is a graduate student at California Institute of Technology, and as part of his work on his doctorate, he has been doing some interesting research with this liquid that you see before you here. Mr. James, what is in this liquid that you've brought here?
It's a white powder called polyethylene oxide that's been dissolved in water.
Polyethylene oxide. I guess you must have discovered an interesting secret about it.
Yes, I did. By accident.
Okay, well, if you'll whisper the details to me, we'll show the audience just what that secret is. The clue panel to Mr. James' secret concerns this liquid, which isn't much of a clue now that I think of it, but we'll start the game with Betsy Palmer.
David, is this beaker of water ever touched by humans?
The liquid itself, no, not really.
In other words, what it does, that it does it not to a human being, but to some inert object?
Well, it doesn't really do much to anything yet that we know about. It's
But
irrelevant.
it causes a change to come about of some sort?
Yes, it does.
Would you say that this object is mechanical?
Yes.
Something that you would have in your laboratory much more than you would have in your home?
I didn't mean that kind of mechanical.
I think you probably better take a no on mechanical in the sense that you mean it and that I'm thinking of it.
Well, I was thinking of maybe like an automobile or an airplane or something like that.
No.
But would you find it in the home?
No, I don't think so.
Would you find it out of doors?
When you say it, what do you mean, Betsy?
This object, that it does something to.
It doesn't do anything to any object much.
I thought you said that.
Not really.
No.
But you found something that happens. Well, does it have to do with the color of it?
No, it doesn't.
$20 down. This is kind of a tough one, Bill.
I have it.
You
What
have.
is it?
The University, Caltech has developed a synthetic martini.
King size.
Wishful thinking. Actually...
Wishful drinking, Bill, I think is what it is.
Are we trying to determine what makes that liquid different than another liquid? Is that...
Exactly.
Is that what we're going for?
Yes.
And it has certain properties that we hope to be able to find out here
That's
tonight.
correct.
Is that right? It doesn't do anything to anything.
Not in that sense.
Do you use it? In other words, do you do something with it?
Yes.
Put it in something. Is that a fair assumption?
Yes.
In the strict sense, it is put into something.
Yeah.
It's put into this thing right here. $40 down. Bess.
Mr. James, is it a conductor of some sort when the polyethylene oxide is added?
You're thinking about an electrical conductor?
Yes.
No.
Now, when this oxide is added, it changes the quality of the water. Does it have to do with the weight?
No.
Does it have to do with the fact that it can support weight?
No.
Does it at any point change from liquid into solid? Does it anything along in that direction?
Yes.
There's a kind of a connection there. Henry, $60.
In order for it to change to a solid, do you have to bring some... What's the finger for?
She said in connection with changing to a solid.
Oh. Then with this...
It doesn't change into a solid.
All right. Does this liquid change into anything itself?
No.
Then would you call it a catalyst?
No.
What would you call it? Well, now, if you said... I'm going back to the first questioning, then was it used on something else?
Forget that tack.
Okay, but when Bess said change into a solid, you said, yes, something does, but not this liquid.
Well, I meant the questioning could be pursued along that line.
But, you mean as far as you care?
That's right. No, in the technical sense, it could be, yes.
Then should I ask what, you must use something in connection with this to produce
yes.
something else?
Yes, I'm going to use something else.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have a powder, for example, or
No, the powder's already in.
All right.
Well, as I mentioned, panel, this is an awfully difficult secret to have gotten. Like many great discoveries, Mr. James's discovery came about through a mistake. And also, like many other discoveries, for the moment, he really doesn't know what the heck to do with this liquid. If you have any ideas, we'll be glad to hear about it. Nevertheless, it is quite a fascinating liquid because, unlike anything else that I know of anyway, this liquid can run uphill. How about that? Don't know how you overlooked that one, but can it run uphill? I mean, downhill, too.
Yes, it's a talented liquid.
And it goes sideways and all over the
Backwards
place.
and forwards.
How did you discover what it can do?
This was by accident. I use this kind of fluid in my research at Caltech. Ordinarily, I'm pouring a full beaker from this vessel to some others. And one night, I tried just pouring an inch or so off the top. And when I set the beaker back up, the flow continued. In fact, it crawled right up the side of this beaker.
Well, Mr. James, if you will give us a little laboratory demonstration to prove that what you just said is true, we'll all be in your debt. You'll notice that what is going to happen here is just what Mr. James related and now predicts. He's going to just start the flow from the top jug here into the bottom one, and then he's going to set it back down. And you would think that that would be the end of the pouring, as it would with any other liquid that we know about. But this just keeps going. And notice how this empties itself, crawls right up the side of the glass and down into the other. Now, this is not a magic trick. It's really happening. Still going on. Mr. James, have you figured out why it does what it does?
Yeah, there's several reasons to explain it. One is that the polymer molecules, if you could look at them at the microscopic level, would appear like very long spaghetti noodles. And in fact, they're so long they become entangled with one another. And they also entrap a lot of water. So once you can start this entangled chain going over the side, they pull more of the molecules over with them, you see, and the water along with it. And they'll continue to flow this way.
Why did it stop?
Oh, well, when this distance gets too high, there's too much stress on the chain, and it breaks.
But earlier this afternoon, when Mr. James showed it to us, it kept going very close down to the bottom. The thing just kept pouring out. But he warned me when I handled the beaker at one time. He said, whatever you do, he said, don't slosh it around, you know, and spill a little, because once it starts going over the edge, you can't stop it. Well, Mr. James, we thank you very much. Are there any practical uses, seriously, that you think might be in the offing?
No, we haven't found one yet.
Well, it's a perfectly wonderful, useless liquid. We'll call it that for the moment. And if you ever figure out how to use it, please let us know. We'll tell everybody. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll be right back with our special guest in just a minute, but first, this message.
Poor George. He's having a long headache. He takes his usual pain reliever and starts to feel better. But sometimes the old standby just isn't enough. So wham, George's headache comes back. You know how some headaches seem to go on and on and on till you need a couple more tablets? This is new Vanquish. It helps you have a wonderful headache. The short headache. Vanquish is formulated to bring you more relief action than the pain reliever you're probably using. And Vanquish has a specific ingredient that acts upon a major factor in most headache pain, pressure on vascular nerves. So with Vanquish, your headache shouldn't come back. That's the short headache. If you must have a headache, remember the short headache. With Vanquish, your headache shouldn't come back. Don't you have better things to do than worry about a headache all day long?
Now, as advertised, it's time to meet our special guest for the evening, one of America's truly great entertainers. Just finished co-hosting the Mike Douglas Show in Philadelphia for a week, and is about to start a cross-country tour, going to Denver, I understand, on January the 29th. Here is the wonderful Miss Pearl Bailey. I know everyone wants to hear me ask this question. Are you going to sing a little bit for us tonight?
But I'm a little tired for that.
A little too tired, huh?
Yes.
Well, I hope you're not too tired to play the game, and if you're not, then by whispering to me, we'll show the audience at home just what your secret is, okay?
How about that, kid?
Well, now, wait a minute. How are you going to do that? Oh, I see, yeah. Well, in that case, Pearl, then you'd better run off stage for a little bit and, you know, get ready for the next...
Yes. My feet are killing me.
All right. And now, while Pearl is backstage panel, would you please put on your blindfolds? It's one of those sneaky games we're playing on you tonight. And are the blindfolds all in place now?
Yes,
All
sir.
tucked in? Okay, Pearl, if you're all ready back there, just come right on out. Now, Pearl, sing for you.
Oh, I'm so tired of the life I lead. I'm tired of the blues I breathe. Tired counting things I need. Oh, I'm really tired tonight, dog. You're killing me, really.
Okay, Pearl, sit down over here now. You're too much. Now, panel, the clue to Pearl Bailey's secret concerns something she's doing, I guess I'll put it that way. Now, we'll start the game with Henry Morgan.
Now, Miss Bailey, this thing that you're doing, did you already do it? Did you come out with it all done?
Oh, well, I would say, yes.
Is it something you're wearing?
Oh, well, no.
Well, between now and when we last saw you, you made some change because the audience laughed. Did you take something off?
Not on a network show like this, honey, no.
It wouldn't hurt.
$20 down, Betsy.
Pearlie Mae, are you doing something to Steve?
What'd she say?
Are you doing something to Steve?
Don't be silly.
You don't know whether you are?
No, she's just entertaining me, that's all.
She's not doing something to you. Are
No.
you touching him at all?
Oh, no, honey, no.
No. Are you using your hands, Pearl?
Oh, always, darling.
But just gesturing, Betsy.
Are you different than you were when we saw you on the stage before?
No.
Well, that's it. You have to get a yes and a no on that one.
Can we take off our blindfolds now, Henry and I?
$40 down. Bill?
Well, get back to what Henry and Betsy both... Something happened between the time Pearl walked off stage and walked back on.
Yes.
When you came back, Pearl, had your appearance changed at all?
Well, yes, somewhat, yes.
Is it possible that someone came back with you when you came back?
Well, always somebody with me, darling.
Pearl, is that you I'm talking to right now?
We'll have to give you a no on that.
No.
And Steve is not a ventriloquist. There's a third party there.
Mm-hmm.
The old rascal.
Who is imitating Pearl now.
Right. I'd like all of you to say hello to a wonderful comedian and impersonator, Mr. George Kirby, ladies and gentlemen. You know, George, there's a few people, not too many, just a few people in the business who do imitate Pearl Bailey. I don't want to knock the rest of them, but I have to say you do the best job of all.
Yeah, man.
Did Pearl herself teach you about this, how to do it?
Oh, yes.
Give me back my job, you're doing it better. No, I did not. Let's be honest.
Yeah, when we worked together, I was always studying your voice. You thought you were just holding the conversation,
but I didn't tell you.
You just helped me by just being there, I see.
That's right.
Well, we have a bit of time now, and maybe we could get these two Pearl Baileys to do a number for us. Is that possible?
Which one's gonna get the most money? I'll tell you, you start first, and I'll see how I'm doing.
All right, we'll let the rotund start first. Oh, I'm so tired.
Yes, you're tired
of the life I lead.
Of the life.
I'm tired of
Wait a minute, George. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, children, back of the curtain. You're even slower than I am, honey. Pick it up a little bit, you know.
All right.
Put your hand on the hip and get it. No, your stone as big as mine.
Okay, ready? Oh, I'm so tired.
You're tired
of the life I lead.
Why do you leave
I'm
that life?
tired of the blues I breathe.
Don't breathe the blues.
Tired counting things I need.
Why?
Gonna live the life of sin and do. Gonna do the. I know that y'all lose some of you know.
I'm tired.
Oh yeah.
Of the tears I've shed.
Of the tears.
Tired of living in the red. Tired. Don't scream in my ear like that, George. No. I'm gonna cut out white, and that's the truth. If you step on my feet, I'll kill you on that road. These my glamour with
We'll be
a
right
star.
back here in the Aragon Ballroom. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special announcement. Next week at this time, Bill Cullen will do his famous impersonation of Louis Bellson. That about does it for tonight. Thank you, George. Thank you, Pearlie. Good night, everybody. Good night, panel.
Miss Palmer's down by Severopolis. Miss Myerson's down by Cameo. This program was pre-recorded. This is John Cannon speaking.